162 games ago, we have all endured a journey. 162 games ago, the Cincinnati Redlegs opened up at Great American Ballpark, and yesterday was game 162 in Milwaukee, and the Reds hopped on an airplane, and instead of traveling back to Cincinnati to board another plane to go on vacation, the Cincinnati Reds went to the airport, hopped on a plane, and are flying out to the prettiest place on earth, Los Angeles. I actually don't know if Los Angeles is the prettiest or the greatest place on earth, but starting today, the Cincinnati Redlegs are in the greatest place they can be right now, as they will take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 1 of a wildcard series. It has been a long time before since the Reds has given us a chance to celebrate and watch baseball in October. The Redlegs, with an 83-79 record, found themselves into the playoffs against the Dodgers, where the whole town and whole Redleg Nation are all amped up to turn on that TV at 9 o'clock tonight and watch them Cincinnati Redlegs while eating all our Skyline chili. It is good to get on here and start jubilation for the Cincinnati Reds. I'll start with this. I'm a diehard LSU fan. I'm a diehard Bengals fan. I'm a diehard. Them two, I'm diehard. But the team from day one in my life was the Cincinnati Reds. From day one, from when I got out of the womb, the Cincinnati Reds have been that team for me. I go to a game every year. I'm passionate about this. Passionate about it. Unbelievable. I always love going to Cincinnati, going to a Reds game. But unfortunately, I have not been able to see any playoff success. But this is the year it finally happens. This is a year the Reds finally have playoff success and finally get over that hump and win us a playoff series. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get on that plane again. We're going to go to Philadelphia for a couple days, win a couple ball games over there. We're going to come to Cincinnati to a sold-out Great American Ballpark. We're going to be woo! 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 Yeah! Go Reds! The Reds fans going to be there in full force. We're going to sweep them Philadelphia bums. Yes, we do play Philadelphia if we win. We're going to sweep them bums. We're going to win the championship series. And then we're going to win the World Series. Woo! 13 games! 13 games away from hoisting a trophy at the end because we're the World Series champions. Woo! The greatest baseball team on earth. We're world champions. We're hoisting that trophy. We're coming back to Cincinnati. We're praying down the road. The University of Cincinnati band's gonna be there. We're gonna have tons of floats. Brent Suter's gonna be doing the Suter. Woo! Woo! I'm fired up for 9 o'clock tonight. I am fired up. And I know you guys are coming at me because I I got a Bengals jersey on right now. I'm recording this on a Monday. I'm going to get this out to you guys on Tuesday afternoon. But, boy, I cannot wait till 9 o'clock tonight to see what the Reds can do. I can't wait. I think the Reds have one of the best pitching staffs. I think the Reds have a lineup that they haven't been scary all year, but if they can put it together, the Reds got a chance. The Reds can go to Los Angeles and beat the Dodgers. You've seen it happen before. My thinking was if we backdoor into this playoffs, the Dodgers better watch out. Because we're playing with house money. We're playing with house money. And we owe the Dodgers a couple losses. We owe them from what they did to us in the regular season. So we owe them. We owe the Dodgers. So we might as well just go in there and beat them, and we might as well just bring a series back to Cincinnati with us, and we might as well be world champions at the end. But, 162 games ago, opening day, we've been with this team through the fun times, the bad times, there was times we all probably even wanted to quit on this team, and I was there with you. There was times this season where I was done with the Reds. There was times where I was absolutely done. And then like catching a fish, they reel you back in, and then they stinking do this thing called we're going to come back and we're going to make it interesting again. Then all of a sudden, you want nothing to do with them for about 2 weeks. And it looked bleak at the beginning of the week. I'll tell you, we had Pittsburgh coming into Great American Ballpark, who were last place in the division, absolutely atrocious of a ball club. We lose 2 out of 3 against them, 1 in extra innings. The Reds can't win in extra innings, so once game 2 on Wednesday night went to extra innings, we kind of knew, oh boy, we were in some trouble there. We lose that one. Then your Thursday, backs against the wall. You're a game out. You're a game out between the Mets. Game out. And fortunately, I just walked in the door of the house that night to catch the end of the game. Oh boy, Noelvi Marte, gotta give him credit. Noelvi Marte never played outfield in his life until this year. Single-handedly saved the Reds season right there. It went from a 2-2 ball game, potentially, and Noelvi Marte robs that home run. The Reds keep the 2-1 lead and win the ball game. So then that happens. You're even. And then you go into Milwaukee. You win game 1. You win game 2. You take 2 out of 3 against the Brewers, who the Reds just seem really bad against the Brewers. The Reds cannot beat the Brewers for whatever reason. You go take 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee. But man, we had to sweat it out a little bit there on Sunday afternoon. We had to sweat out a little bit. And luckily, fish are friends, not enemies. Fish are friends, not food. The Marlins were able to take care of business in their series against the Mets. And the Reds win the tiebreaker, and we're going to Los Angeles, and the Dodgers are booking vacations. Not the Dodgers. The Mets are booking vacations. But I gotta give it credit to the Reds. They stuck in there all year. There was times where they were going to look bad. You didn't think they'd finish with a winning record at times. You didn't think they could win these certain ball games. They absolutely frustrated the crap out of you when they couldn't beat the Pirates or couldn't beat the White Sox or couldn't beat a team like the Athletics on the road. That wasn't very good. I mean, there was times. It's a 162 game season. But the Reds found a way to get into the playoffs, and that's all that matters. We can sit here today and say, "Oh, the Reds don't deserve it. They lost their way into the playoffs. They lost their way in the playoffs." Yeah, they lost the last game of the year, but they did not lose into the playoffs. Yes, they should have won that Pittsburgh series. They should have won that series, but they didn't. And then backs against the wall, you know they have to go in Milwaukee and win that series, take at least 2 out of 3. At that point, maybe you're feeling a little hopeless or something. The Reds did what they needed to do in that Milwaukee series, took 2 out of 3, and the Reds are going in the playoffs. Yeah, that is something special. I haven't got to see much success in the Reds' lifetime. Us Reds fans, we've struggled for years. The Reds couldn't ever get over that hump. We've been through it all. We've been loyal. We've showed up to games. We've did all we can as fans. We showed up to games. We supported the team. Finally, we got a team that gets over the hump into the playoffs. And I think we got a legit shot to figure it out. We got a legit shot to do some damage this year. I mean, you got Hunter Green. He's going game 1. The Reds already came out and said, we're going with our ace, Hunter Green, game 1. So Hunter Green is going tonight. And then tomorrow and Thursday, I mean, you got all kinds of options. Lodolo, he pitched Sunday, but Lodolo, he threw probably about 25 pitches on Sunday. But Lodolo, could he be ready to go Wednesday? You got Lodolo, you got Littell, you got him. You got Brady Singer, who, I mean, gave up a couple runs on Sunday, but Singer been good for you. I mean, out of the bullpen, you got Chase Burns. You got a guy like Graham Ashcraft who can come in and get you outs. You got a guy like Scott Barlow. He can come in. He proved he can get you outs. You got Emilio Pagan. Well, I think he's one of the best closers in the league. I mean, there's struggle at times, but yeah, he's a really good closer and proved he can close games for the Reds. You got Tony Santillan in the bullpen. I mean, this Red staff is loaded. This Red staff is a loaded pitching staff. And then you look at the bats. I mean, Spencer Steer, I think he's the leader on the offense of this team. You got Ellie, of course. Ellie he got power. He got the speed. You got Gavin Lux. He has the good thing about Gavin Lux is I enjoyed having, maybe not the greatest season from Gavin Lux this year, but I really enjoyed having him on the team this year. Maybe not a real great season statistically for Lux, but I mean he's one of them guys. Played for the Dodgers last year and won a World Series with the Dodgers. I mean, he has postseason experience. So maybe Gavin Lux is kind of a guy that a player that maybe the Reds can lean on a little bit to help them in the postseason. I mean, he been there and he done that. I mean, Terry Francona, Tito, he been there. He's been in the postseason. He's done that. And I'm sure there's other guys on this team that has success. So, I mean, everything is lined up for the Reds to make a postseason run. Now it's up to the Reds. They just gotta go out and do it. The Reds as a team just got to go out and do it. I mean, you got Ke'Bryan Hayes. He's another great pickup for the Reds at the MLB trade deadline. Heck of a third baseman. I mean, then you got Andahar. I mean, he got the power. He got potential extra base hits and powers to hit home runs. I mean, Noelvi Marte, you see what Marte can do. Became a heck of an outfielder. I mean, had an inside the park home run last week. I mean, this team, I mean, maybe, yeah, I have seen maybe they are the worst team in the playoffs right now. But don't be doubting the Reds right now. And if there was ever a week where I am happy to wake up sleep deprived in the morning, it's going to be this week. Because you betcha, I don't care if the game goes 19, 20, 21, 22 innings. Which I certainly hope they don't go that long. But I don't care how long that game takes. I'm staying up and watching these Reds. So, I mean, I might be dragging a little bit in the mornings. But you know what? I'll have Folgers in my cup. I'll have Folgers in my cup in the morning. Because that's the best part of waking up. Or I'll just have my normal Diet Mountain Dew Zero. I'll probably have that in the morning. But, I'm more than happy to have about 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night to watch the Reds play baseball. I mean, I'm absolutely ecstatic to watch the Reds play baseball. I mean, the Dodgers are a formidable opponent, really good opponent. They got a really good pitching staff. But, I mean, the Reds has pitched to Shohei Ohtani really good this year. I mean, the Reds are, the Reds are just right there with them. And I mean, baseball's simple. I mean, 27 outs, score more runs than the other team. That's all you gotta do. Just find a way to get 27 outs in 2 out of them 3 games, and you win the series. And then you bring a really big series back to Cincinnati, where us fans are absolutely going to come out for them. I mean, Great American Ballpark will be sold out. In fact, it probably already is sold out. But, I mean, the Reds are in the playoffs. The Reds can make a playoff run. So, I mean, who knows about the Reds? Who knows? I mean, a really good, talented roster. A really good, talented roster for the Reds. They can make it happen. They can make it happen. I mean, one of the only teams in the MLB who, I mean, they had a really long series, had a really long streak of not getting swept this year. Didn't get swept for, I mean, it was up in the 40-something straight series. The Reds didn't get swept. They probably only got swept a handful of times this year. But the Reds did what they needed to do. They accomplished the goal they set out to do and found their way into the postseason. And as a Cincinnati fan, can't be more excited. Because I already got my tickets lined up to Great American Ballpark for October 8th. I'll definitely be there. I don't care if they play at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. I don't care if they play from 11 to 11. I'll be there supporting my Reds just like I have 3 times this year. And let me tell you, I was there at the Reds game on Wednesday night against the Pirates. I was there at that game. A Wednesday night, weekday game. Kids got school in the morning. You gotta go to work the next morning. Absolutely electric crowd. That crowd, I mean, it was a last minute decision for me too. But that crowd was absolutely electric that night. And if you were there that night, or you were there any night of that series, the crowd was absolutely electric. So think about if the Reds win this series against the Dodgers, and they get to go play Philadelphia. Just think what this crowd will be like in game 3 and 4 of the National League Division Series. Ugh, I'm just getting chills talking about it. And I could honestly talk about the Reds for probably about 2 more hours. I could sit up here all day long and talk about the Reds for 2 more hours. But we still got we still got some topics and a pretty good show for the rest of you guys tonight. So college football is on deck now. So I spent plenty of time talking about the Reds. I could talk for 2 hours, like I said, but no, we had plenty more talk about on today's show, and so I don't bore you guys half to death. If you're a Cardinals or a Pirates fan, let's get to some college football talk. So, the game I'm going to start with is LSU and Ole Miss. I mean, this is the last time I want to even discuss this or talk about this game, because what transpired on the football field at Vaught Hemingway Stadium just was absolutely atrocious for the LSU Tigers. It was atrocious from an offensive standpoint, but defensively you were great. Defensively, LSU was great in that game against Ole Miss. The offense just needs to figure it out. And the good thing about the LSU offense needing to figure some things out is that this week you got the bye week. So that helps you, but offensively just really atrocious offensively. I mean, offensively, LSU has no identity right now on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I mean, you're playing well enough where you should be 5-0. And I think LSU had the better roster coming into the game than Ole Miss had. Ole Miss was playing a backup quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss from Ferris State. And that's not a knock on Trinidad Chambliss. That's not a knock on him. That dude balled out and played fantastic all game. But, I mean, offensively, LSU had the better players. Defensively, LSU had the better players than what Ole Miss had. And to put it simple, LSU just if you can't run the ball, you are not going to win very many football games. That's my takeaway right now. LSU cannot run the ball. They're not going to win very many football games. That's a key takeaway for me right here. You are so one-dimensional not being able to run the ball. And then you got Garrett Nussmeier back there who feels like maybe you feel like you have to pass the football. And I'm not going to get into, is Garrett Nussmeier injured? Garrett Nussmeier, is he injured? How badly injured is he? I mean, yes, I think there's probably something going on with Nussmeier that LSU's not saying. But what else I want to say is, if Nussmeier is out there playing in a football game, Nussmeier is healthy to be able to compete and go out there and lead you to a win on the football field. So, I mean, some of them throws Nussmeier makes, I mean, he don't look like he's 100% healthy. But, I mean, I'm a diehard fan, but I'm saying this too. If Garrett Nussmeier is out there, he's there to lead us to a victory. He is healthy enough to lead us to a win. But yes, I do think maybe something is lingering or something with Garrett Nussmeier right now, and That's why he might not be 100% healthy, but you know that I don't want to sit here and speculate all night. But I mean, LSU got to find a way to run the football. I mean, I mean, the thing that's crazy is, I mean, we just abandoned the run game on Saturday. You cannot do that. That we just can. You cannot, when the run game is not working out. You can't say we're going to throw it 28 times and run it twice. You cannot just abandon the run game totally. You got to find a way to run the football. And that has been an issue for LSU for the last couple of seasons. Not being able to run the football. That's been an issue. LSU has to find a way to run the football. And I'm glad there's a bye week this week, because now LSU can go back to the drawing board a little bit. Figure out a way. How are we going to run the football more efficiently? Now Garrett Nussmeier gets 12 to 13 days to rest up. So Garrett Nussmeier is going to be ready to go. You get him through the bye week. Get him healthy. Find a way just to find a way to run the football easier. Find a way to get a running game started this week. I mean, I think that's what LSU is going to do. They're going to go to a drawing board, and they're going to find a way. I mean, it's unacceptable to not be able to run the ball. I mean, we're like a program built on running the football, and we just can't the last couple of years. But you got to find a way this week, during the bye week, for LSU to figure out a way to run the football and kind of take all the pressure off of Garrett Nussmeier having to be about perfect. And it's crazy that I'm sitting here today talking about the LSU offense is worse than the LSU defense. Because a couple years ago, we weren't having that conversation. The LSU offense was having to play perfect because the LSU defense couldn't stop a brick wall. Now you got LSU's defense who is just absolutely incredible. You got them holding teams to 10, 15 points a game. But it's the offense lagging behind a little bit. And that's kind of the concerning part, because your offense has been great the last couple of years. And now you finally got a defense. And then you just can't put the offense together, and that just seems to be an issue right now. But like I said, the positive is now you got a bye week. You know what you got to work on. So yeah, there's plenty of things to work on. You can revamp some things, throw in some wrinkles and everything in there. And the defense just gotta keep doing its thing. Gotta keep doing its thing. So, defensively, LSU played well enough to win that ball game. Gave up 24 points. But like I would say, if like I'd say the last couple of years, you cannot expect, like I'd say with the offense, you can't expect the offense like the last couple of years to be perfect and go win you football games. This year you cannot just rely on your defense and say, hey, you gotta be perfect, you gotta play mistake free, because we don't have a good offense to go win this football game. You cannot expect the defense to be perfect every game because your offense is lagging behind a little bit. You can't expect them to be perfect. So, I mean, you got a week. You can get Nussmeier healthy. You can throw wrinkles, figure out a way to run the football, and just keep on improving that defense. Because Blake Baker got that LSU defense playing nasty. And then just figure some things out. And that's what I think LSU will do. And yes, I'm mad that we lost on Saturday. But by no means am I overreacting and saying this season is over. Because this season is far from over. I mean, you were hoping you'd be 5-0 going into the bye week, but I mean, you lost a game. It happens. But I mean, but now you got after the bye week, you got a South Carolina team coming to Tiger Stadium. That game's going to be at night. Then you go on the road to Vanderbilt, which Vanderbilt's a solid team this year, but I mean they're going to have a test with. I think they play Alabama this week. They'll Vandy plays Alabama this week, so Vanderbilt will be tested this week. And then after that, you got Texas A&M at Tiger Stadium. So realistic, that's before your second bye week, before you play Alabama. So LSU could LSU. I think they win these next 3 games. They can. I think they absolutely win these next 3 games. And then you're 7-1 going into the bye week against Alabama. Then the next week you got Alabama, and then you'll play Western Kentucky, and then you'll have Oklahoma. You'll have Arkansas in that next group of 4 games right there. So I mean, the season is not The season is not over at all. I'm not over. Yes, I'm upset LSU lost on Saturday, but by no means am I ready to overreact to one loss. I mean, losses happen. I mean, sometimes the other team is just better than you. Ole Miss was the better team on Saturday. Ole Miss was just the better team, and hats off to Ole Miss for being the better team on Saturday. But this season ain't over for LSU. I mean, you're 4-1, still plenty to play for. I mean, maybe you might drop a game to Alabama or Oklahoma. Maybe you drop one of them. That's still a 10-2 season if you win. I'm trying to do some math. Let's see, we're 5 games in. If you go 6-1 over your next 7 games, I think you're still in the college football playoff. Because I don't think there is a dominant team in college football or the SEC this year. I don't think anyone's just out there. I mean, probably Ohio State and Miami. Probably the 2 dominant teams. I'll say that. But other than that, it is wide open to make the college football playoffs this year. So, not really concerned about the Ole Miss loss. We just got to play better. And, I mean, just to go over a little bit of the game on Saturday, I mean, LSU drives down 7-0. They score a touchdown on that tip pass in the end zone. You're up 7-0. I mean, great start to the ball game. Your defense got you a couple 3-and-outs and early stops. I mean, and then you hold Ole Miss to a field goal. You're down 7-3. I mean, then you're about ready to go up 14-3. But Nuss throws a really terrible interception. I mean, just a terrible interception. It felt like at that point in the game, if LSU goes up 14-3, that's huge momentum for LSU. And that might have been right after LSU forces a fumble and recovers it in the end zone. I mean, then you have that happen. Throw an interception. That drive 14-3 is a lot different than 7-3. Ole Miss goes down and they make it 10-7. And then you have an interception called back to due to pass interference. I mean, a drive filled with all kinds of penalties in the first half gives Ole Miss a drive, go down, score a touchdown. So, I mean, instead of you controlling that game, you're down 17-7 in the first half. But I mean, credit, you battle back in the second half, but it just wasn't meant to be. But I mean, just there was opportunities in that football game for LSU, but they didn't take advantage of the opportunities in that game. I mean, running the ball, you just abandoned running the ball. That was atrocious, and I mean, just a tough day for LSU. But I mean, I could sit here overreact all day long, but I said I'm not gonna overreact. One loss is a loss. I mean, pretty much in this era of the 12-team college football playoff, you might be able to lose 2 times to and still get in the playoffs. You just never know. Maybe LSU goes 11-1 and wins the SEC, and they might get in, or maybe 10-2, a 10-2 season, and maybe they don't make the SEC championship game. Maybe that gets them in. I don't know. You've seen, I mean, Ohio State. I mean, they lost a couple games last year, and Ohio State was a national championship team, and they didn't win the Big Ten Conference championship or even play in that game. So I mean, you never know. I mean, that's the great thing about the 12-team college football playoff is that I can sit here now and there's still hope that LSU makes it, and I don't want to overreact yet. And I mean, there's plenty of opportunities still out there. There's still seven weeks and a really long season left to play some better football, and I think LSU is still one of the best teams in the country, even losing to an Ole Miss team. And I mean, it sucks to lose to Ole Miss, but Ole Miss was a top 15 team. So I mean, if this was a team that wasn't ranked, if Ole Miss was a team that wasn't ranked, and I mean they were about 500 and not very good, yes, I would absolutely be up here freaking out, overreacting right now. But I'm not going to overreact. A loss is a loss. I mean, we didn't play good enough to win the football game, but it happens, and maybe this is a nice wake up call for LSU. I mean, this is probably just a wake up call. So now you know that there is not much margin for error in the SEC. There's not much margin for error in a football game, and you know what you need to work on, and you can improve upon that. And if LSU does that, they'll be fine the rest of the year. All right, we're going to go back. Let's talk a little bit about Ohio State and Washington now. I mean, Ohio State goes on the road for the first time of the season, and they beat Washington 24-6. Julian Sayin, I think he was. Let me pull up the stats. I think he was like 22 for 28 or something like that. I mean, that's Sayin's first true road start. So I mean, Ohio State wins 24-6. Sayin was 22 for 28, 208 yards and a pair of touchdowns. So I mean, you had Jeremiah Smith. He scores a touchdown. I mean, Ohio State did what they needed to do. They went on the road out west to Washington. Did what they needed to do. Didn't give up a touchdown. Washington, the 6 points were on field goals. So, and if I'm correct and remember correctly, I think I heard Washington has won like 22 straight home games or something like that. So Ohio State went on the road, did what the number one team in the country needed to do, and that was to get a win. And Ohio State got the win. And I'll say this: that was a really fast football game. That was a really fast football game. Because, I mean, I was kind of simultaneously watching the LSU game and the Ohio State game together. And, I mean, it was the fourth quarter when there was about 10 or 11 minutes left in the third quarter of the LSU game. So, I mean, I think it felt like Washington ran the ball a lot. I think is what Washington might have ran the ball a lot. I don't really know. This says ESPN says they had 30 carries in the ball game. But yeah, it felt like Washington ran the ball a lot, try to run some clock. It looked like, but I mean, Ohio State did what they needed to do. I mean, a 24-6 win. I mean, it don't look impressive because the score 24-6 does not look impressive at all. But I think 24-6 with Julian Sayin, his first true road start as a freshman, I think 24-6 is a really impressive win. It's really impressive. I mean, he goes on the road, gets the win, and Ohio State remains 4-0. So Ohio State did what they needed to do on Saturday, won the game, and now they get to go back to Ohio Stadium on a Saturday night and play Minnesota. So Ohio State's going to be back with a night game at Minnesota and 4-0 against a 3-1 team. So there's that. So Ohio State, I mean, number one team in the country, does what they needed to do and got a really impressive win at Washington. And then one thing is I think after watching that football game, I need to go sailgating at Washington. I mean, sailgating at Washington just sounds like a really great time. It does, folks. It sounds like a really great time. But yeah, I mean, Washington, a really nice stadium. I think that's a bucket list item for me to go to. So hopefully one day I'll get to go there, as well as Tiger Stadium's still on that list, and I will be going there. I will be going there to Tiger Stadium. I don't know when, but I will be. But yeah, that's the Ohio State. My kind of takeaways from Ohio State, and I'm sorry, Buckeye fans. It's just kind of some information sometimes that I don't I do watch the game, but I don't watch enough of it to remember all the things that transpired like an LSU game, because when LSU is playing, I'm locked into every play, and I'll see a couple minutes here and a couple plays there from the Buckeye game, but LSU is I remember everything from them because I'm that's all I'm locked on a Saturday when LSU playing is straight LSU. So I'm sorry to you Buckeye fans, but I think the rundown is decent rundown. It might not be decent, but I mean, come at me if it's not. But Ohio State got the impressive win on Saturday on the road, their first road win of the year away from Ohio Stadium on Saturday. And here's another Big Ten matchup I wanted to talk about is Oregon and Penn State. Penn State hosts the whiteout on Saturday against Oregon, but I think the big question was, could James Franklin get it done? Could he finally get over the hump and get that big win? Unfortunately, it was, I mean, Penn State just, they're one of them teams that, they can just never get that big win. And I was a betting man on Saturday, and I actually did bet Oregon to win that football game, and luckily they did and covered the spread right there. But in the first half, that was just straight Big Ten football. You weren't really, teams just couldn't get into scoring position. Heck of a deadlocked of a defensive battle. Both teams had a couple field goals to be tied 3-3, I think, but no team just could really get inside the red zone or get comfortable. And then in that second half is kind of when everything turned wild. That's when all the scoring imploded. And you go into double overtime, and Oregon scores on the first play, and Penn State throws an interception on the first play, and Oregon wins. But if you're a Penn State fan, I kind of hate this for you, but I don't see Penn State winning the big game ever. I mean, that's an issue with Penn State right now. They just for whatever reason, just seems like they can't get over the hump and win the big game. I mean, they were ranked higher than than Oregon. They're going to play Ohio State later this season. I mean, there is a lot of hype at Penn State, and I know there should be a lot of hype. Penn State's a good football team, but man, it seems like when they play these big games against the Oregons, the Ohio States, they just cannot get over the hump. And it just seems like that been James Franklin's career at Penn State. It just been he can't get over the hump. So it was a tough one for Penn State. Had the big whiteout, but just a really heck of a played ball game, wild down till the end. And then we got another coach that just seems to struggle with some teams, and that's Kirby Smart and Georgia against Alabama. I mean, it just seems like Kirby Smart just can't get it done against Alabama, even though Nick Saban ain't the coach. I mean, his record is unbelievable against other SEC teams and other opponents. But I mean, when you look at his record against Alabama, he's like 1-6 or 1-7 or something. So I mean, that was a really slow start for Georgia on Saturday. Now, I mean, Alabama came out and just did what they needed to do and kind of put it to Georgia early, and Georgia had to play comeback. And when you gotta play comeback against Alabama, it don't always work out. But man, just a tough one for Georgia at home, and that's a big win for Alabama. That is a huge win for Alabama. I mean, you seen week one they lost to Florida State, but I mean since then Alabama been rolling since that Florida State loss. Alabama has been rolling, and I mean is Alabama maybe the best team or the second best team in the SEC? I don't know. Time's going to tell about that one, but I mean Alabama's rolling after that game against Florida State they lost. I mean, then they went to Sanford Stadium and beat a really good Georgia team. And I mean, like I said, I mean coming back and having to play comeback against Alabama is really tough. So I mean, hats off to Alabama for a big road win down there. And I mean for the guys that bet the over that night for that game, I mean that thing kind of stunk. I mean, you bet you betted the over, and I mean the first half, I mean they were putting up points and no one could be stopped in that game. But I mean in the second half it just turned into a defensive battle and no one was scoring points. But tough day for the guys who took the over on the Alabama Georgia game. But you win some bets and you lose some bets. That's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, I mean I think it was an incredible day of college football on Saturday. I mean you had them 4 matchups we talked about, and I mean I'm not sure how many you watched the Kansas and the Cincinnati game, but I mean I was at a buddy's house and we were tuned into that one, and that one was a really good game, and that came down to the end, and tough loss for Kansas, but huge win for Cincinnati as they had to kind of come back and win that one. I mean, we were able to watch the Reds that night. So Saturday was just an incredible day of college football. Able to watch the Reds, the Ryder Cup. I mean, that's a tough one tough one to swallow if you followed the Ryder Cup all weekend long, but I mean, tough one for the U.S. Got off to a tough start, losing 3 of the 4 matches on Friday morning, and you had to play catch up, and I mean, got a point back in the afternoon, and Saturday it just didn't seem like it was much better. But I mean, then you got to Sunday, and it was wild for the U.S. And I mean, they about made the historical comeback in the Ryder Cup, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess, on uh, for the U.S. at Bethpage. But the Ryder Cup's always good. Got to tune into that a little bit. But I mean, I think Team Europe was that they probably had some of the better golfers than what the U.S. had. But I mean, you had Bryson, and you had uh, Scotty, and Cam Young, and Xander, and a bunch of really good golfers on the U.S. side. But I mean, on that Europe side, I mean, you had Tommy Fleetwood, Rory, Shane Lowry, Matthew Fitzpatrick. I mean, incredible golfers on both sides for the Ryder Cup, and it's going to be fun in another 2 years, and hopefully the U.S. can go over to Europe and get a win in the Ryder Cup and bring the Ryder Cup back to the U.S. So we'll see what happens in 2 years, but tough break for the U.S. They made a charge back on a Sunday, but just a little too far down after the first 2 days. But we'll see what happens in the next couple years, as golf's a really good, interesting sport, and Europe just played better for the couple days. But yeah, it's all right. You win some and you lose some. But yeah, just Saturday was just an absolutely incredible day. So I mean, college football Saturday, can't go wrong with sitting on the couch or doing nothing. This week's going to be another incredible college football Saturday. Just really good games on this past weekend. I was glad to hang out with a buddy all day. One of my buddies, we were sitting there able to watch college football from noon till 11 o'clock that night. So really good day. So Saturday was a fun day. The Reds were able to win that night as well. We talked about them earlier. But before we close out the show, I usually don't talk about much high school football on this podcast as I would like to sometimes, but we're going to end today's show with some high school football talk. And I kind of been pondering around a little bit, is maybe starting a high school sports / high school high school athletics, starting me a second podcast maybe with talking about high school sports. But we'll talk a little bit about some high school sports here to end it to today. But I think down the road, once one podcast is a tough, so I think having 2 podcasts at the same time might be a little hard. But eventually I think I probably will have a high school sports a podcast along with this Coastal Smoke podcast. But I kind of wanted to talk about some high school football this week, because we have some really good matchups on Saturday in college football. I think this week in high school football has some really good matchups. But I mean, this past week, I mean, you had the Division 5 state champion go to their biggest rival in Wheelersburg on Friday night. And I mean, Wheelersburg, really good high school football team. They beat the defending state champions in a classic ball game. Give them their first loss of the year. So I mean, I think that Region 19 in Ohio High School athletic football regions is a really deep and tough region for in that division. Like I mentioned, Wheelersburg, can't remember the score, but Wheelersburg went to hosted the Ironton Fighting Tigers in week 6. Really good high school ball game from the highlights and stuff I got to see, but really good high school football game, and two of the teams I think is going to win the division, and them two will play each other again. I can about guarantee you we'll probably see Wheelersburg and Ironton go at it again. So that was probably the first meeting, and then we'll get a second one down the road, which should be incredible again. And Wheelersburg wins that ball game at Berg, and big win for Berg. But I mean, I was at the Piketon game last week. They won 49-0 over Paint Valley. Got there, got a nice win after a couple tough weeks for the Red Streaks. But I mean, going on to this week, we got a really good slate of high school football here in Southern Ohio. I mean, we got Sims Valley 5-0 or 6-0, or I think we just completed week 6. So an undefeated Sims Valley team coming to an undefeated Eastern Pike Eagles team. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of eyes and beaver this week. I think Sims Valley and Eastern is the favorite to win the league, but I mean, Sims Valley playing some really good football, and I mean this could potentially be for a league title here in Beaver Friday night. So I mean, Sims Valley is going to Eastern for what could be the league championship game, but I mean that should be an incredible game, incredible atmosphere. I mean, the Eagles doing some great stuff out in Beaver, and then you got a huge rivalry in the SVC. You got Zane Trace going to Unioto, which I thought that was the last week of the year, but I mean it kind of popped up on me, and it was Zane Trace and Unioto. I mean, Unioto has comes into this game undefeated. Sims Valley, not Sims correction, Zane Trace, not Sims Valley. They come into that game with one loss, huge rivalry game. So I mean, it's going to be Unioto's toughest test up to this point, and probably will be their toughest test of the season. So, I mean, Zane Trace comes to town. I mean, Zane Trace survived a couple scares the last couple weeks. I mean, Huntington gave them a ball game for about 3.5 quarters, and Zane Trace kind of took over late in the end with a couple 8 touchdowns, and Zane Trace and Westfall were back and forth in a really good ball game on Friday night, and Zane Trace gets a big win against Westfall. So I mean, huge one in the SVC, which is probably the league championship game. Zane Trace at Uniota, and then you got Memphis going to Waverly. I mean, Waverly has had their little bit of struggles this year, but Waverly has struggled this year. But I mean, Memphis coming to town. Memphis has a couple wins, been playing some good football. But I mean, this game's at Waverly, and Waverly has shown some good stuff over the course of the season, and I mean, I think it's going to be a really good ball game up at Radiger Field in Waverly, and that's the game I'm going to go partake in and watch that one this weekend. So, I mean, Memphis and Waverly, that should be a good SOC battle. Then you got, I mean, can't end this podcast without talking about the Piketon Red Streaks. They finally snapped a little bit of a losing skid this past Friday with a win over Paint Valley, but they got the Southeastern Panthers coming to town for the homecoming game, and Piketon looking to make it 2 in a row, excuse me, and get their record to 4-3 on the year. So Piketon gets a southeastern team. So we'll see what happens in that ball game. So that should be another good game. And then we got our last game is Portsmouth West at Valley. Portsmouth West goes to Valley, I believe, and I think this could be a battle between who finishes second in the SOC big division. This is probably who could finish second in their division. But this should be a really intriguing matchup. I mean, Valley, a really solid, improved football team from last year. West kind of had its struggles a little bit this year, but I mean they have had a couple wins in a row here. So West is a really good team, and it's always going to be a battle with Portsmouth West and Valley here. So I think it's going to be a really good matchup down at the reservation at Valley High School. So I mean, I think that's who might finish second place in that league. Could be the second place decision, because I think Willersburg will win that league. But I mean, yeah, there's a really lot of good. I'm sure there's a ton more really good high school football games this week around the area. But due to lack of time here, just wanted to go over a couple here. But I mean, Sims Valley at Eastern, just to run down again. Zane Trace going to Uniota. I mean, those are just two big games. I mean, I think Waverly's going to get their first win of the year against. I think Waverly has a chance to get their first win of the year against Memphis. That should be a really good, close, tightly contested battle. Southeastern at Piketon. I mean, I think Piketon probably going to win that game. Piketon's going to get to 4-3 on the year, and hopefully make a playoff push the last couple weeks. And then you got West at Valley, and West has been a real behind Willersburg. West has been a really formidable opponent in the SOC there, but it's a Valley squad who has a lot of who has been playing really good football. Valley has. So I mean, it's going to be a really fun Friday night, and I'm sure there's a bunch of homecoming games on Friday night, and there's going to be a lot of good games. I mean, Huntington and Paint Valley get together, and that's a big old rivalry in the SVC again. They battle for the Maple Leaf Trophy. I can't remember where that game's at, but I mean, another really good, intriguing matchup of a ball game. But yeah, there's some really good high school football games coming up this weekend, and hopefully I'll see a couple of y'all out there and down at Waverly Friday night. That's where I'll be. I'll be covering that game for the local newspaper around here. So I mean, that should be a really fun atmosphere and a good game. And it's homecoming for Waverly. Piketon's hosting a homecoming game. So some really good high school football this weekend. So I encourage you guys, if you have or if you haven't, to just get out there and support these local athletes in the area, and go catch yourself a high school football game on Friday night before you get to Saturday and watching college football, and then so I mean, well, a great week of sports coming up. Last week was a great week of sports. So I mean, I think we've been on here for about an hour, and I think it is about time to sign off here. The Bengals have the Broncos tonight, but you guys will be watching this on Tuesday, so that Bengals game will be over. So hopefully the Bengals get a big win Monday night, and it is it's going to be time to turn on the TV to ESPN and watch the Reds and hopefully see the Reds make a big playoff run, and then we'll watch some Reds baseball this week. Then we'll get into our high school football games Friday and college Saturday and NFL on Sunday. So with that being said, this has been your host, Baden Fuller of the Coastal Smoke Podcast. And for all you guys out there, keep on vibing.